In 2025, small backyards are turning toward a more grounded, timeless beauty literally. The era of forced symmetry and sterile hardscaping is giving way to organic flow, and nowhere is this shift more visible than in the rise of natural stone pathways paired with soft, low-growing ground covers. Picture soft moss winding between weathered stones, or fragrant creeping thyme cushioning each step. These design elements do more than just look beautiful. They create an experience inviting you to slow down, wander, and connect with the earth beneath you. Unlike traditional pavers or concrete, natural stones come in irregular shapes that mimic nature's own aesthetic. This irregularity softens the lines of a small space, making it feel more expansive and welcoming. By interweaving ground covers between the stones, the transition between materials becomes seamless and alive, blurring the line between structure and softness. What's emerging isn't just a path, it's a sensory journey. One that feels curated yet wild, structured yet soft. Each stone becomes a stepping point into a curated narrative of texture, scent, and movement. This simple yet sophisticated choice in landscaping is changing the way we think about small spaces, proving that the path to outdoor luxury isn't paved in perfection, but in purpose. Natural stone pathways are designed to enhance movement while complementing the character of a backyard, especially when space is limited. In 2025, these paths are no longer utilitarian afterthoughts, they are integral design statements. Flagstone, slate, and limestone are popular choices due to their durability, natural textures, and earthy tones that blend seamlessly into garden settings. The key trend is pairing these stones with ground covers that offer more than visual appeal. Creeping thyme, for example, releases a subtle fragrance when stepped on, while moss provides a lush, velvety look that thrives in shaded areas. These plants grow in the crevices between the stones, softening the lines and helping the landscape look less rigid, more organic. Design-wise, stepping stones are often spaced irregularly or follow a natural curve, guiding visitors through the garden in a way that feels instinctive, not forced. They invite exploration while protecting the ground cover and reducing soil compaction. This balance between hardscape and living greenery helps foster an atmosphere of calm and cohesion. Natural stone paths are particularly effective in smaller backyards where every detail matters. Because they don't dominate visually, they make the yard appear larger and more inviting. Whether it's a winding walkway to a raised bed or a simple stone trail to a water feature, these pathways offer not just direction but intention. Natural stone pathways with ground cover are more than just beautiful, they're incredibly functional, especially in small backyard spaces. The benefits begin with their aesthetic flexibility. Natural stones come in a range of textures and hues that complement most garden styles, whether you're going for rustic, modern, or minimalist. When combined with ground covers, the result is a visually balanced scene that feels curated but not over-designed. Ground covers like thyme, moss, or dwarf mondo grass are low maintenance, resilient, and often drought-tolerant, ideal for sustainable landscaping. They reduce the need for frequent mowing or watering, making them a great alternative to traditional lawns. Plus, they help manage runoff and erosion by stabilizing the soil between stones. Functionally, natural stone paths help organize a space without making it feel crowded. They allow movement through the garden while protecting delicate plants and soils from foot traffic. This is especially useful in small yards where multi-use zones, planting, relaxing, and walking need to coexist without clutter or confusion. Emotionally, these paths add a tactile and sensory quality that elevates everyday use. The cool touch of stone underfoot, the soft rustle of greenery, and the occasional burst of scent from thyme or chamomile all contribute to a calming, almost meditative experience. It's luxury defined not by extravagance, but by intentional simplicity. Ultimately, this design choice helps small backyards feel more expansive, thoughtful, and connected to nature. It's proof that with the right elements, even limited square footage can deliver a rich, rewarding outdoor lifestyle. In the landscape of 2025, tranquility takes center stage, especially in small backyards where space is precious and every element must earn its place. Enter the minimalist water feature, compact, sleek, and quietly transformative. Forget sprawling koi ponds or elaborate fountains. Today's most coveted backyard accent is subtle, modern, and rooted in serenity. Imagine a slim trough fountain tucked against a garden wall, or a simple stone basin where water slips endlessly over the edge in a silent cascade. These designs don't shout for attention, they whisper calm. In tight outdoor spaces where clutter can overwhelm, these features offer a counterpoint, visual clarity, soothing sound, and a tangible connection to nature. But this trend isn't about minimalism for its own sake. It's about precision, purpose, and balance. The sound of trickling water masks neighborhood noise and instantly changes the energy of a space, making it feel more private, luxurious, and meditative. Meanwhile, their sculptural forms often rectangular, bowl-shaped, or wall-mounted add structure without crowding the scene. In a fast-paced world, these water features invite pause. They ask nothing more than your presence. And that's what makes them powerful. They create space not just in the yard, but in your mind. For 2025, that kind of elegance is everything. Minimalist water features are redefining the role of water in outdoor design, especially for small spaces. The focus is on clean lines, quiet operation, and integration, not dominance. These features are often integrated into hardscapes, garden walls, or planted zones so they feel like a natural extension of the environment rather than a standalone structure. Popular styles in 2025 include linear trough fountains made from Corten steel or black stone, wall-mounted cascades, and shallow reflective pools that mirror the sky. Their proportions are designed with small yards in mind, often no more than a few feet wide, but the effect they create is expansive. It's not about size, it's about presence. In terms of placement, these water elements are often tucked into corners or placed along pathways, creating moments of calm between more functional zones. The soundscape they offer, a soft trickle, a rhythmic fall, adds a sensory layer to the garden, masking background noise and heightening the immersive feel. Most are recirculating, low maintenance, and energy efficient, using internal pumps that require little space and upkeep. The materials used, stone, concrete, ceramic, age beautifully and reinforce the earthy, grounded aesthetic. Combined with planting, they become living installations that evolve with the seasons. A minimalist water feature doesn't overwhelm, it enhances. And in a small backyard, that enhancement goes a long way. The beauty of minimalist water features lies in how effortlessly they blend serenity with smart design. For small backyards, Where every square foot matters, these compact elements provide an outsized return on investment visually, emotionally, and functionally. First and foremost, they create ambience. The gentle sound of flowing water calms the senses, reduces stress, and masks unwanted noise from traffic or neighbors. It transforms an outdoor space into a true sanctuary, especially valuable in dense urban environments where tranquility is hard to come by. Visually, minimalist fountains and cascades act like natural sculptures. Their simple lines and refined materials lend a modern yet earthy elegance, anchoring the landscape without overwhelming it. The way water catches light and moves rhythmically adds a dynamic element that constantly shifts with time and weather, making the space feel alive. These water features also support wellness. Research shows that the sound and sight of water can lower blood pressure, encourage mindfulness, and even improve mood. In the context of a small backyard, this effect is amplified by proximity. You don't have to walk far to experience the benefits. Finally, minimalist water features are low maintenance and sustainable. Many are self-contained, use very little water, and are easy to clean. When placed thoughtfully, they can even help attract pollinators and birds, enhancing the backyard's biodiversity. In short, these small features do it all. They bring peace, beauty, motion, and life without asking for much in return. In 2025, rigid rectangles are making way for flowing forms, and the garden is no exception. Elevated garden beds, once defined by their straight edges and utility-first designs, are undergoing a soft revolution. This year's standout trend embraces organic shapes, wavy, curving outlines that mimic natural terrain, creating beds that feel less like containers and more like living sculptures. This shift is about more than aesthetics. Curved raised beds soften the geometry of small yards, drawing the eye in sweeping lines instead of harsh stops. These fluid forms allow the garden to feel larger, more inviting, and deeply rooted in nature's language. They complement the irregular lines of a wildflower patch or the gentle bend of a flagstone path, building visual rhythm and harmony across even the smallest landscapes. The materials raw wood, hand-molded clay, uncut stone emphasize texture and authenticity, enhancing the sensory experience of the garden. Whether nestled against a fence or placed at the center of the yard, these beds become focal points that ground the entire design. In a time when outdoor spaces are being reimagined as sanctuaries of self-expression, these sculptural forms remind us that structure doesn't have to be square and that beauty can grow in any shape we give it. Raised garden beds have always offered practical benefits: better drainage, easier access, and defined planting zones. But in 2025, their form is catching up to their function. Instead of straight-sided boxes, today's elevated beds embrace flowing, organic shapes that bring a new level of artistry to backyard gardens. Designers and homeowners alike are experimenting with curved silhouettes inspired by natural topography. These undulating forms move through the yard like rivers or dunes, creating gentle boundaries that guide both planting and movement. Unlike conventional box beds that segment a space, organic beds encourage fluidity and connection across zones. Construction materials vary widely, but the emphasis is on natural texture. Untreated cedar and cypress offer longevity with a raw, earthy finish. For a more rustic look, stacked stone or clay edging mimics the look of ancient garden terraces. Even molded concrete, when softened with curved edges and patinated finishes, can echo nature's quiet strength. The layout of organic raised beds often follows sunlight patterns and water flow rather than rigid grids, allowing for a more intuitive, sustainable planting approach. These beds can be built at varying heights for visual interest and ergonomic comfort, making them ideal for both aesthetic and practical gardening. Ultimately, this trend elevates the humble raised bed into a central design element, functional, beautiful, and always in tune with its surroundings. Curved, elevated garden beds are more than just visually appealing. They offer a wide range of benefits that go far beyond traditional gardening. Especially in small backyards, these organic shapes help make the most of limited space while enhancing both usability and sensory experience. Spatial efficiency is one of the biggest wins. While box beds often create wasted corners and blocky layouts, curved beds fit naturally into awkward spaces, corners, and transitions. Their fluid shapes guide the eye, making the area appear larger and more harmonious. Instead of breaking up the space, they unify it. Accessibility improves as well. With multiple heights and smooth contours, these beds can be designed for comfort whether you're bending, sitting, or even gardening from a wheelchair. That adaptability turns your garden into a more inclusive, user-friendly zone. Ecologically, these shapes often support better water management. Raised curves can direct rainfall, reduce erosion, and support layered planting systems that mimic natural ecosystems. The result is a healthier, more resilient garden. Emotionally, the softness of curves encourages relaxation. Research in design psychology shows that rounded shapes are perceived as more welcoming and less stressful. A winding garden bed becomes a meditative experience, a subtle way to calm the mind and ground the senses. Finally, these beds offer aesthetic cohesion. Paired with natural materials, they blend seamlessly into outdoor spaces, reinforcing a handcrafted, earthy atmosphere that feels intentional, calming, and connected to place. By choosing sculptural raised beds, you're not just planting, you're shaping beauty, function, and peace into your outdoor world. In 2025, design isn't just about what you see, it's about what you feel. And in small backyards, where every inch matters, the ground beneath your feet is getting the attention it deserves. The latest landscaping movement replaces the monotony of concrete and grass with a palette of tactile surfaces: gravel, bark mulch, crushed granite that not only define space but elevate it. This isn't about piling on decorative finishes. It's about layering texture to create contrast, movement, and visual richness. Imagine a fine gravel path winding into a bed of dark bark mulch, or a crushed granite zone glowing under dappled sunlight. These shifts in material offer both function and beauty, dividing the backyard into walkable trails, cozy nooks, and planting pockets, each with its own texture, tone, and vibe. It's a subtle luxury, one that doesn't shout for attention but quietly defines the soul of the space. These materials reflect a deeper trend toward natural minimalism, where sustainability and simplicity work hand in hand. Gravel and mulch are affordable, durable, and easy to maintain, yet when combined thoughtfully, they look anything but ordinary. In the evolving world of backyard design, what's beneath your feet is just as important as what surrounds you. In 2025, texture leads the way. Texture has become a cornerstone of modern backyard design, especially in smaller spaces where horizontal planes take center stage. Gravel and mulch are no longer just utilitarian ground covers, they're primary design elements used to define zones, add contrast, and bring tactile richness to outdoor living. Gravel, whether pea-sized or crushed, is ideal for pathways, transitional zones, or dry garden areas. Its crunch underfoot adds a sensory experience, while its permeability supports drainage and sustainability. Available in shades of gray, beige, and even pink or black, gravel can be selected to complement plantings or architecture with ease. Mulch, especially shredded bark or wood chips, creates warmth and depth. It's often used around garden beds or under trees, offering a soft, matte surface that contrasts beautifully with stone, gravel, or concrete. As it breaks down, mulch also nourishes the soil and supports plant health, blending visual interest with ecological function. Designers in 2025 are strategically layering these materials to define specific functions within a yard: a gravel area for walking or sitting, a mulch section for planting, a crushed granite pad for visual grounding. Edging with metal, stone, or wood ensures the materials stay cleanly separated, enhancing the visual order without rigid lines. The result is a multi-dimensional landscape, visually compelling, low maintenance, and entirely grounded in the natural world. When it comes to small backyards, the ground plane is more than a surface, it's a storytelling tool. Gravel and mulch, used strategically, provide both contrast and cohesion in a landscape, unlocking a variety of benefits that extend far beyond appearance. Visually, texture plays a crucial role in breaking up monotony. A mix of gravel and mulch adds subtle variation underfoot, creating visual depth without cluttering the space. These changes in tone and texture help define zones organically: one area for planting, another for walking or quiet reflection. This distinction makes even a compact yard feel intentionally divided and thoughtfully used. Functionally, these materials are high performance. Gravel promotes excellent drainage, minimizes erosion, and is incredibly durable. It's ideal for dry climates and walkways. Mulch, meanwhile, supports healthy soil by insulating roots, retaining moisture, and suppressing weeds. Together, they create a balance of hard and soft surfaces that's both practical and inviting. Maintenance is minimal. Gravel rarely needs replacing, and mulch can be refreshed seasonally. Both are affordable, widely available, and environmentally friendly options, especially when sourced locally or reused from natural debris. Emotionally, these textured zones contribute to the sense of calm. Walking across gravel has a meditative rhythm. Sitting near a bed of mulch feels grounded and quiet. These are materials that don't just look natural, they feel natural. Ultimately, this design approach supports sustainability, enhances usability, and celebrates the tactile beauty of the outdoors. In small backyards, it's proof that the most transformative design decisions often start underfoot. In 2025, design is shifting away from the ornamental and toward the elemental. That means fewer plastic pots and mass-market planters and more sculptural containers that blur the line between function and art. Small backyards are now embracing terracotta, clay, stone, and hand-formed ceramics as key design pieces, not just vessels for plants, but foundational elements in the garden's aesthetic story. Think of it as living sculpture. A cracked clay urn that holds trailing rosemary. A weathered stone bowl that mirrors the texture of the earth itself. These containers aren't distractions, they're focal points. Their irregular forms, muted colors, and natural patinas complement greenery without competing with it, adding substance and weight to small spaces. Unlike trendy outdoor furniture or loud decor, these materials ground the space. They feel timeless, tactile, and connected to place. The choice of container becomes a creative act, a way to introduce structure, rhythm, and mood to even the simplest garden. And the beauty? These sculptural elements never age out of style. They deepen with time, developing character through weather, water, and touch. In a backyard designed for longevity, quiet elegance, and natural harmony, that kind of presence makes all the difference. In this new era, containers don't just hold life, they shape it. This year, plant containers are moving beyond the purely functional. Sculptural vessels made from raw, organic materials like terracotta, clay, stone, and concrete are redefining how greenery is displayed, especially in small backyards where every object carries visual weight. Terracotta remains a favorite for its breathable quality and sun-warmed hue, but it's being reimagined in oversized, asymmetrical, or imperfect forms that feel hand-touched and artisanal. Stone planters, especially limestone, granite, or lava rock, bring a sense of permanence and grounding. Even concrete is being used creatively, molded into geometric or weather-softened shapes that echo brutalist or wabi-sabi aesthetics. The trend is about creating contrast between the solid and the living, the rough and the soft. Lush ferns cascading from a rough-hewn stone container, or tall grasses swaying from a low-slung terracotta pot. It's this interplay that brings drama and softness into harmony. Placement matters just as much as material. Sculptural planters are often arranged intentionally, framing an entryway, anchoring a corner, or flanking a garden path. Groupings in odd numbers or staggered heights add rhythm without clutter. Unlike furniture or accessories, these containers become permanent fixtures in the landscape, more like outdoor art than objects to be moved or replaced. They are grounded, tactile, and timeless. This is slow design at its best, thoughtful, textural, and deeply connected to the living things it supports. Sculptural plant containers bring a wealth of benefits to small backyard spaces functionally, aesthetically, and emotionally. They anchor the landscape with intention, acting as both plant vessels and artistic statements that elevate the entire design. Functionally, high-quality containers made from terracotta, stone, or concrete are long-lasting and weather-resistant. Their weight keeps them stable in wind or rain, while their breathability, in the case of clay, helps regulate root health. Many are handmade, offering deeper drainage channels and superior airflow compared to synthetic options. Aesthetically, these vessels introduce visual rhythm and weight. In a small yard, where furniture might overwhelm or feel out of place, sculptural planters provide structure without visual noise. Their curves, lines, and textures echo natural forms, blending seamlessly into the landscape and enhancing the surrounding plant life. Emotionally, there's a grounding quality to these materials. The rough texture of clay, the cool density of stone, they create tactile experiences that reconnect us to the earth. As they age, they weather gracefully, developing patinas that mark time and memory. Design-wise, they allow for elevated plant displays, bringing vertical interest and creating micro-vignettes that draw the eye. This makes them perfect for layering greenery at different heights and making use of corners or pathways. In short, sculptural containers do more than hold plants. They define space, frame nature, and offer timeless beauty. For the small backyard, They're not just a detail. They're a design philosophy in physical form. In 2025, the most dynamic gardens aren't spreading outward, they're growing upward. Small backyards, once restricted by fences, walls, and tight footprints, are now embracing the power of vertical and layered greenery. This trend transforms blank boundaries into lush, living canvases, redefining how space and nature interact. Think of fences draped in flowering vines, trellises wrapped in ivy and passionflower, or tiered plantings that rise in waves, each layer contributing color, movement, and depth. These vertical strategies don't just solve a spatial problem. They create a sensory immersion, building privacy, softness, and vibrancy where none existed before. The result is a microclimate of wonder, cooler, quieter, and deeply alive. Ferns, climbers, cascading herbs, each chosen not just for their foliage, but for how they layer together into a natural tapestry. The eye is drawn up, across, and through a dynamic shift from the flat, lawn-centered layouts of the past. In a world increasingly shaped by vertical cities and compact living, the vertical garden becomes a symbol of possibility. It's proof that even the smallest patch of land can feel boundless when designed with intention and imagination. In 2025, your walls aren't boundaries, they're invitations. So go ahead, let the green rise. Vertical and layered greenery is all about maximizing visual and ecological impact within limited space. It involves using structures like trellises, green walls, fences, and stacked planters to support upward plant growth, while combining species with varying textures, heights, and habits to create a multidimensional effect. Popular choices for vertical growth in 2025 include flowering climbers like clematis, jasmine, and bougainvillea, which bring both color and scent. Ferns, grasses, and trailing vines like creeping fig or sweet potato vine add movement and fullness. Layering is key. Combining upright forms with cascading or vining ones results in a richly textured display that evolves through the seasons. Wall-mounted planters and modular green wall systems allow even concrete or brick surfaces to host life. These systems can be used for edible plants like herbs and strawberries, or purely ornamental species that enhance color and structure. Even without professional installations, layered effects can be achieved using tiered plant stands, staggered pots, or shelf systems. The goal is to make the space feel enveloped in greenery, cool, lush, and private, without sacrificing ground-level square footage. In hot climates, vertical greenery also cools walls and reduces heat reflection, contributing to energy efficiency and comfort. And for wildlife, these dense layers create habitat and cover, boosting biodiversity. Aesthetically and functionally, vertical gardening is small space landscaping at its smartest and most stunning. Layered and vertical greenery delivers a powerful set of benefits, especially for small backyards where floor space is scarce but vertical space is underutilized. This trend is more than visually rich, it's strategically brilliant. Spatial efficiency is the top advantage. Climbing and cascading plants allow you to create depth and height where there is no width. Walls, fences, pergolas, or trellises become living surfaces, replacing blank emptiness with color, shade, and texture. Privacy and enclosure are also dramatically enhanced. Instead of installing fences or screens, vertical greenery provides a soft, organic sense of seclusion. Over time, dense foliage muffles noise, blocks views, and creates a more immersive, protected outdoor experience. Ecologically, vertical gardens contribute to biodiversity, especially when they include flowering or native species that attract pollinators and birds. They also help cool and insulate surfaces, which can reduce ambient temperatures and even indoor heat during summer months. Aesthetically, the layered look provides a lush, luxurious feeling that small backyards often struggle to achieve. By stacking textures, broad leaves, thin vines, soft ferns, you create a rhythm and depth that draws the eye and softens hardscaping. Emotionally, vertical gardens are calming. They provide a sense of being embraced by nature, not just standing beside it. The greenery feels closer, more tactile, and more immersive, ideal for creating a backyard retreat that invites pause and peace. With minimal ground space and the right plants, you can turn your backyard into a sanctuary that feels 5 times its size, alive, quiet, and incredibly lush. Thanks for watching. In 2025, small backyards are all about natural textures, organic shapes, and layered greenery that bring beauty and calm to every corner. If you found this inspiring, thumbs up, like, speech balloon, comment, bell, subscribe, outbox tray, and share it with someone who loves nature-inspired design. See you in the next one, and remember, great design starts right outside your door.